The folks at Policymakers, they are statistics and numbers people. They are really crackerjack. Um, they're uber prepared and definitely do their due diligence. So the theme and the concept that I want to start with and end with tonight is the practice of loving the soldier and disregarding the veteran. Perhaps you've seen this. You're probably more likely to see it now more than ever. Um, you know the people that I'm talking about. They wave the biggest flag. They're the ones that always talk about how much they support and love the troops. This became very fashionable after 9/11. Um, so often, those same people, be it our elected officials or the voting public who elected them, cannot wait to cut entitlement programs. I hate to use that expression. What we're really talking about here is our brothers and sisters in need. These benefits, these programs affect veterans. It could be directly or it could be indirectly. So I'm going to get into that a little bit more in a minute. These folks preach fiscal conservatism, but they do not take into account the lifelong partnership and those binding commitments made between the United States government and those who volunteered or were drafted into the service of this nation. It isn't a secret that many vets have a difficult time after discharge. I consider myself to be very fortunate. After my hitch, I was discharged relatively intact. I really wasn't much worse off much worse for wear. Like I said, consider myself to be fortunate, but there are many vets who suffer from poor health, be it physical, mental, or emotional. And what this does is causes a cascade effect, making employment and life in general difficult. Uh, this is the exact reason that many veterans have a tough time making ends meet. As a result of that, they depend on federal assistance programs like Medicaid and SNAP. Sometimes this is in addition to or in place of any benefits that they can utilize from the VA. For example, as already mentioned, many veterans use Medicaid as their primary source of healthcare coverage. But not every veteran qualifies for VA coverage. Me, for example, I do not. I was in for 4 years, so I didn't retire from the Navy, and I don't have any diagnosed or reported service-related health issues. At this point in my life, at least, I don't qualify. There are many people out there in the same position as me. Likely as many as half of all veterans are in that position. Keeping that in mind, a cut to any entitlement program is as much a shot at the veteran community as a shot at the VA would be. So while we're on the subject of the VA, federal government is the largest employer of veterans in the United States. So I'm gonna sneak a statistic in here. 28% of all VA employees are armed forces veterans. When the administration makes cuts or changes to employment policies, like with collective bargaining, that's another shot at the veteran community. That when this administration guts the Social Security offices, that is a shot at not only the veterans behind the desks, but those that are standing in line. Many veterans leave their service and work whole careers paying into SSI. Like any other part of the population, the veteran community can become disabled for many non-service related reasons. In that case, they would need to be able to collect SSI disability. When the administration makes cuts to the post office, that is a shot at veterans. I'm watching this happen in real time. I see and I talk with the union leadership from the AFGE. They are the ones that represent the workers at the VA and at Social Security. I talk with them and the letter carriers pretty regularly. We sort of travel in the same circles. The U.S. Post Office employs 70,000 veterans. For them, the concern is always about job security. There's been very little good news, for about the last 8 months with the AFGE. It has been constant worry, and everything is in flux all the time for them. As you all know, the post office has been under attack for years. Uh, I'm sure it's already been mentioned. I'm sure you all know that the Trump administration just canceled or rescinded the labor contracts for the employees of the VA. So let me talk for just a second about the value of collective bargaining in the workplace and how it helps not only the employees of the VA and other federal agencies, but it helps the veterans in general and the general public who are being seen or treated. Collective bargaining isn't just about wages or benefits, it's about staffing, it's about workload, it's about protecting those that protect us. It's about nipping problems in the bud so they don't grow, become large scale problems that can affect the services provided. It's about a safe workplace. And in the case of the VA, a safe workplace benefits employees and customers alike. That affects veterans on both sides of the equation. So, something that the Utility Workers Union, that's my union, has identified and become concerned with is the ability for veterans to reach out to mental health hotlines. Right now, veterans can get emergency mental health help by calling 988. Being proactive and seeing the writing on the wall, we're working on establishing an internal hotline staffed 24 hours a day by our membership. Members of my Veterans Committee are being trained right now. Once we get the committee trained, we're going to open it up to the general membership. The training is being provided by an organization called QPR, who specializes in this type of training. For us, this was something that was too important to leave up in the air. It's too important to worry about potential staffing cuts or the elimination of an entire federal program for budgetary reasons. So once this is up and running for us at the Utility Workers Union, I sincerely hope that the phone never rings, but if it does, we'll be ready. I would encourage other groups to take proactive measures as well. Identify the things that concern you and your partners and the things that concern you the most, and then figure out a way to fill in those blanks. So, one last point to be made tonight, then I'll bring this home. This is a statistic that I bet Policy Matters doesn't have. First a disclaimer. This info is about 4 years old. It hasn't been updated in a while. I don't know that they're necessarily tracking this, but there was a lot of information on it from about 4 years ago. Of the 18 million veterans in the US, 17 of them are billionaires. So if you are one of those 17 people, this administration has looked out for your best interest more than any of the previous ones. For the remaining 17,999,983 of us, we should be worried. I really wish that more veterans would think about these things. It isn't always about the Pentagon budget. That's the love the troops part. Sometimes it's about what happens when those troops get home and keeping the commitments made to our veterans that were made on the day they enlisted. So thank you all very much. I appreciate the opportunity to have spoken with you.